What's up, DFS players? Alex here. We have 15 MLB games today, and we are going to be going through the best player props on PrizePicks. So PrizePicks is a DFS platform, and what we're going to be going through is how to use it and the best props for today in the MLB. So tons of options today. As a quick recap, PrizePicks is a really fascinating platform, and the reason that's the case is they don't vary your payouts depending on what two picks you select. Any two picks is going to be 20 to win 60, which means 20 to win 40 in profit plus your $20 stake back. So 20 to win 40 in profit is just plus 200 odds, right? It doesn't matter if you select the overs or the unders. So we've gone through the math before, the math behind how PrizePicks works, how PrizePicks payouts work. But essentially, because you're getting plus 200 odds on any two-pick entry, you need to be winning your props on PrizePicks 57.74% of the time to break even, right? So what that means is if your player props on PrizePicks are hitting at a clip of 54%, you're going to be super unprofitable. If you're winning your player props 60% of the time, you're going to be a very profitable DFS player on PrizePicks. So long story short, we want to look for player props that are hitting at a rate above 57.74%, which is an implied price or implied odds of minus 137 on PrizePicks. So you can basically find a lot of opportunity on PrizePicks because they don't vary their payouts depending on if you select the over or the under. So for example, here we can see a positive EV play. So from the OddsJam positive EV tool, this tool just shows you mathematically profitable sports bets and DFS picks. So if we scroll down, we can see right here, Glenn Otto under 3.5 strikeouts has a 3.21% profit margin. So right here, 3.21% profit margin. So let me zoom in a bit. 3.21% profit margin, Mets Rangers, Glenn Otto, under 3.5 strikeouts, right? You always want to look for the bet in bold with a circle around it. Doesn't matter if you're looking for DFS picks, for sports bets, the profitable data-driven picks are always going to be in bold with a circle around them. So here we can see it's Glenn Otto under 3.5 strikeouts. So we're just using, sports betting data, which OddsJam has a ton of real-time odds from 50 plus bookmakers to find data-driven sharp picks, right? We're using real-time betting data, real-time market data to find sharp picks. So here we can see our first pick that I have for tonight is Glenn Otto under 3.5 strikeouts, right? So we're data-driven DFS players. So what that means is we're comparing the lines on PrizePicks to the odds on the sports books. So for example, if we go to Otto and we say under 3.5 strikeouts, right? Our payout's not going to change depending on if we select his over or his under in terms of strikeouts. Now that's completely different than the sports books, right? You can see Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, they're giving you plus 131 odds on Glenn Otto over 3.5 strikeouts, right? So essentially you could bet $100 to win 131 in profit if Glenn Otto had over 3.5 strikeouts. On the under, betting 100 would only yield $65 in profit. So sportsbooks imply win probabilities or how likely they think a bet is to win based on their odds, right? So because all the sportsbooks are heavily juicing Glenn Otto under 3.5 strikeouts, they're all pricing it from minus 170 to minus 178. That means the under is much more likely to hit, right? The under is much more likely to hit. So this is a line discrepancy on PrizePicks, and we can use the current betting market on Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, to essentially back out the implied win probability for our bet. So they were pricing the over at plus 131, the under at minus 178. So essentially, what we can do is remove the juice from this market, and we see that our bet, Otto, let's go here, Glenn Otto under 3.5 strikeouts has a 60% win rate, roughly 59.66%, which you can see right here, right? So what this calculator does is just remove the juice, remove the vig from a sportsbook's market to tell you the true win probability for your bet. So we're hitting this PrizePicks, player prop at a rate of roughly 60%, and we only need to be hitting it at roughly 58% to break even. So this is a profitable player prop, a data-driven, mathematically profitable player prop to include in our PrizePicks entry. So it should make sense too. I mean, just being a data-driven, right, sports bettor, DFS player, when all the sports books are pricing something around -170 and you can get it in your PrizePicks entry, that's probably a pretty good sign that it's a great bet, because all the sports books, which are taking a lot more action, they're more efficient betting markets, they think the under is much more likely to hit. So we definitely want to include the under for Glenn Otto. And we can quantify that profit margin mathematically, which is exactly what the OddsJam positive EV betting tool is doing for you. It's using real-time odds from the sharpest sportsbook in the world, Pinnacle, to show you line discrepancies where you can find value and edges as a DFS player or as a sports bettor. So that's the first pick I'm going with. Then the next pick is actually a middle. So this is a middle. Mariners Athletics game, we have another strikeout prop, and we have James Caprillion over 3.5 strikeouts on PrizePicks. So why do we like this? Well, first of all of the sports books are pricing the main line basically at over 4.5, and it's juiced towards the over, right? This is juiced towards the over on most sports books except FanDuel. So all of the sports books are pricing, James Caprillion over 4.5 strikeouts as the favorite, and we can get over 3.5 in our PrizePicks entry, right? So if he has 4 strikeouts, all our bets on sportsbooks would lose. Our pick on PrizePicks would win, and obviously that's a big part of the distribution. Is Caprillion having exactly 4 strikeouts, probably like 10% or maybe even higher. It's not like an NBA total where it's 218.5 to 219.5 and it's not that big of a difference. Over under 3.5 versus 4.5 is a massive difference for a pitching prop, right? So this is the second pick I locked in from the OddsJam middle betting tool. So another betting tool on OddsJam, and we're just using real-time market data to find these line discrepancies in sharp MLB player prop picks for today. First day of July 1st on PrizePicks, and this is a very clear line discrepancy. We want to be all over as a DFS player. So I went ahead, I locked it in. As you can see right here, plus 200 odds, Glenn Otto under 3.5 strikeouts, James Caprillion over 3.5, $500 to win 1,500, so 500 to win 1,000 in profit. And I went ahead and I locked it in. So I'm sure, I'll try to do another PrizePicks video today if any good stuff comes out. But currently, only 2 profitable props I see on PrizePicks, so these are the 2 I locked in. Let's make money.